Hi boys, today I have brought a beautiful story from your supplementary reader. That is An Alien Hand. The name of the story is, can you guess? The Cop and the Anthem by O. Henry. This is the story of a man who has no money. He can't buy food. He has no place to stay in. So what he does? He does unlawful things. Things which are illegal or against the law. And his wish was to go to the jail. You know why? Because in jail at least he would get food and shelter. So in search of food and shelter, he goes on doing wrong things, expecting the cop to take him to the jail, but alas, his wish is not fulfilled. But something happens in the end which is exciting. Now you read the story, but before you read the story, just read the introduction. Have you ever found yourself in a situation in which what happened was the opposite of what you expected? If so, you are familiar with the irony of the situation, which is often embarrassing. The story that you are going to read has a number of such situations. Such situations, ironical situations, where you expect one thing and you get something opposite. That is what happens in this story throughout till the end. Now, let's read the story further. Soapy is a homeless, jobless man. This is the name of the boy, Soapy. Winter is fast approaching and Soapy must have a place to stay. Soapy comes to a decision at last. So, Soapy is a jobless man, winter is approaching and he wants a place to stay in. And he takes a decision at last. What is that decision? What he does? Let's read. Okay, so first you will read the story, then answer the questions yourself. After answering the questions yourself, then you can copy the question answers from here, from the lesson. Soapy moved restlessly on his seat in Madison Square. There are certain signs to show that winter is coming. Birds begin to fly south. People want new warm coats. And Soapy moves restlessly on his seat in the park. When you see these signs, you know that winter is near. So, here you get the answer for the question, like what are the signs that show that winter was approaching. So, birds begin to fly south, people want new warm coats, and that's it. So these are the signs. A dead leaf fell at Soapy's feet. That was a special sign for him that winter was coming. Yes, this is one of the signs. It was time for all who lived in Madison Square to prepare. To prepare for winter. Soapy's mind now realized that fact. The time had come. He had to find some way to take care of himself during the cold weather, and therefore he moved restlessly on his seat. We go ahead. Soapy's hopes for the winter were not very high. He was not thinking of sailing away on a ship. He was not thinking of southern skies or of the Bay of Naples. 3 months in the prison on. Blackwell's Island was what he wanted. 3 months of food every day and a bed every night. 3 months safe from the cold north wind and safe from cops. This is what Soapy wanted most in the world. Now let's look at the southern skies. That is warmer place. Now he was thinking of warmer place. And where? Now Blackwell's Island, name of a prison. Blackwell's Island was name of a prison. If Soapy went to prison, the government would look after his food and stay. So that is what he was expecting. And cops is the policeman. Now, for years, Blackwell's Island had been his winter home. Richer New Yorkers made their plans to go to Florida or to the shore of the Mediterranean Sea each winter. Soapy made his small plans for going to the island. Richer New Yorkers, people who were rich, they made their plans to go to Florida or the shore of Mediterranean Sea during winter because these were warmer places. But Soapy made his small plan to go to Blackwell's Island because it was famous for its jail, and that was enough for him. Now we read next. And now the time had come. 3 big newspapers, some under his coat and some over his legs, had not kept him warm during the night in the park. You can imagine that he didn't have clothes. So he was using newspapers to keep himself warm. And these newspapers in layers he was keeping under his coat and some over his legs. So Soapy was thinking of the island. There were places in the city where he could go and ask for food and a bed. These would be given to him. He could move from one building to another and he would be taken care of through the winter. But he liked Blackwell's Island better. He liked this jail better. There were some places where he could get his requirements met. Soapy's spirit was proud. If he went to any of these places, there were certain things he had to do. In one way or another, he would have to pay for what they gave him. They would not ask him for money, but they would make him wash his whole body. They would make him answer questions. They would want to know everything about him. So why he was not willing to go there? Because if he went there to the places in the city, they would make him work, they would make him take bath, they would ask personal questions which he did not want to answer. So he wanted to go to jail. Right? Let's read further. No prison was better than that. The prison had rules that he would have to follow. But in prison, a gentleman's own life was still his own. That was his thinking, that prison was better than many places in the city. Soapy, having decided to go to the island, at once began to move towards his desire. Soapy does his best to be on the wrong side of the law. Wrong side of the law. Once he tries to do wrong things in order to go to the jail. He tries 3 tricks, all in vain. 3 times he makes efforts, all in vain. The fear that no cop will ever catch him makes him sick at heart. He starts thinking that nobody will catch him, nobody will take him to jail. And that made him sick. He was feeling unhappy, unwell. Alright? So, let's go ahead, see what he does. There were many easy ways of doing this. The most pleasant way was to go and have a good dinner at some fine restaurant. Then he would say that he had no money to pay, and then a cop would be called. It would all be done very quietly. The cop would arrest him. He would be taken to a judge. The judge would do the rest. What is that rest? The judge would send him to jail. If he goes to a restaurant, has dinner there, and then he says, I have no money, then they would call a cop, and the cop would take him to judge, and judge would take him to jail. This is what he thought. Soapy left his seat and walked slowly out of Madison Square to the place where the great street called Broadway and Fifth Avenue meet. He went across this wide space and started north on Broadway. He stopped at a large and brightly lighted restaurant. This was where the best food and the best people in the best clothes appeared every evening. I mean, he went to very expensive restaurant for food. Let's see how he is treated there. Soapy believed that above his legs he looked all right. His face was clean, his coat was good enough, and if he could get a table, he believed that success would be his. The part of him that would be seen above the table would look all right. The waiter would bring him what he asked for. He thought that above his half the body he looked okay, means he could be accepted in such an expensive place where rich people came to have food, and if once he is able to sit there, then he'll be able to manage what he wanted. That is what he thought. He began thinking of what he would like to eat. In his mind he could see the whole dinner. The cost would not be too high. He did not want the restaurant people to feel any real anger, but the dinner would leave him filled and happy for the journey to his winter home. He was planning what to eat. Not very costly, but something ordinary which would fill his stomach, and the restaurant people would send him to his destination. So that is what he started planning. But as Soapy put his foot inside the restaurant door, the head waiter saw his broken old shoes and the torn clothes that covered his legs. Strong and ready hands turned Soapy around and moved him quietly and quickly outside again. The moment he stepped inside, he was at the restaurant door, the head waiter saw his broken shoes and torn clothes, and immediately he could make out, so very strongly the head waiter turned him round and threw him out of the restaurant quietly. Soapy turned off Broadway. It seemed that his most easy way to the island was not to be his. He must think of some other way of getting there. Now Soapy thought that he would not be able to get to the island easily, so he must think of some other way. At a corner of 6th Avenue was a shop with a wide glass window, bright with electric lights. Soapy picked up a big stone and threw it through the glass. People came running around the corner. A cop was the first among them. Soapy stood still and he smiled when he saw the cop. So what he did, he broke a window pane, and now he was thinking that a cop would come and catch him, and he smiled when he saw the cop. Where is the man? that did that?" asked the cop. The cop asked, "Don't you think that I might have done it?" said Soapy. He was friendly and happy. What he wanted was coming towards him. He thought that police was coming towards him. So he said, "Don't you think I might have done it?" But the cop's mind would not consider Soapy. Men who break windows do not stop there to talk to cops. They run away as fast as they can. The cop saw a man further along the street, running. He ran after him, and Soapy, sick at heart, walked slowly. He had failed 2 times. Now Soapy thought that he would be caught, but the cop did not believe him, because Soapy did not run away. The cop ran after somebody else, and Soapy felt that he had failed twice. Across the street was another restaurant. It was not so fine as the one on Broadway. The people who went there were not so rich. Its food was not so good. Into this, Soapy took his old shoes and his torn clothes, and no one stopped him. He sat down at a table and was soon eating a big dinner. When he had finished, he said that he had no money. So he went to another restaurant which was not so expensive. Nobody stopped him there, so he went and sat there and had his dinner. When he finished, then he said he had no money. Right? "Get busy and call a cop," said Soapy. "And don't keep a gentleman waiting." I mean, on his own, he suggested that call a cop. "No cop for you," said the waiter. He called another waiter. And what he did? They lifted him and threw him out of the door. The 2 waiters threw Soapy upon his left ear on the hard street outside. He stood up slowly, one part at a time, and beat the dust from his clothes. Prison seemed only a happy dream. The island seemed very far away. Now, his dream was not to come true, because nobody was ready to arrest him. A cop who was standing near laughed and walked away. Soapy started moving again. When he stopped, he was near several theatres. In this part of the city, streets are brighter and hearts are more joyful than in other parts. Women and men in rich warm coats moved happily in the winter air. A sudden fear caught Soapy. No cop was going to arrest him. Soapy tries his luck twice again, but cops remain indifferent as ever. Alright, so Soapy is suddenly reminded of his childhood home and mother, and resolves to turn over a new leaf. He suddenly reminded of his home and his mother, and he decides to turn over a new leaf to get a new success. Feeling a hand on his arm, Soapy turns around to see the broad face of a cop who put his hand on Soapy's. Now, we can take a break here, alright, and we will read the rest of the story in the next class. Okay, till then you read this much